Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Oh, I see Sister Fly Girl is here. How are you doing, my dear sister? How are you doing? You are the one who keeps coming up in my mind. How are you doing, my love? I hope you're having a great Thursday morning. Hope you are feeling better. I hope your therapy is going well for you. We continue to pray for you. Okay, this morning we are here. We are gathered again to do our morning's reading. Those of you who are just coming in, those of you who are new here, I want to say a very special welcome to you. Thank you so much for stopping by. We sincerely appreciate you. Now, once you come in, don't forget to hit that like button and share out the stream. Invite your friends to come on over and listen to the reading. Now, each morning we gather here, we read the Bible. Now, we are not endorsing any particular religion or any particular denomination. We are simply reading the Bible for ourselves so that we can have our own understanding of what is in the Bible. Because many of us will say, oh, we believe in the Bible. We believe what the Bible says. But you believe something that you have never read. You have only read a little verse here, a verse there, a chapter here, a chapter there. But you have not read the full Bible. You have no context of what this book is about. You just assume because you were told that this is the religious compass. This is the moral compass for us all. Sister Winsome is here. Good morning. Okay, my love. Okay, Sister Georgia. Georgia says she's taking it one step at a time. Yes, my love. That's what we do. One moment at a time. And we are continuing to pray for you. So as I was saying, so many of us, we say we believe in the Bible, but we have never read the book in its entirety. We cannot tie the stories together to say, oh, so this is what this person did, or this is what this person said. Why did they say it? Who were they talking to when they said what they said? What could have led to them saying what they said? We won't know because we have only read one verse here, one verse there. And so far, we have proven that that is rather detrimental in our understanding of the Bible, or lack thereof, because we have only been reading a verse here and a verse there. So I decided that we're gonna cut that out. At least we are going to read the Bible from beginning to end. So afterwards, whenever we grab a verse and we speak that verse, we know exactly why that verse was spoken in the first place, who spoke it, and to whom they were talking. And we'll have the backstory. Right? So come along with me, guys. Welcome. I thank you all for joining me. And I hope you all have been enjoying the reading of the Bible as much as I have been enjoying bringing it to you. Now, this morning, we are going to start on the book of Ecclesiastes. And the book of Ecclesiastes comes right after Proverbs. Now, we just finished reading the Proverbs. Where the Proverbs, it sort of highlights the moralities and the vices for them. And I enjoyed the book of Proverbs. It's one of those books that you can totally relate to life. Unlike some of the other books that we have read that was really just a story, like the book of Judges and stuff, stories telling us recounting events that supposedly happened back then. So those were stories, but here in the Proverbs, these are lessons. Now we are going to move on to the book of Ecclesiastes, and we are going to read from chapters 1 through 6. Now, the book of Ecclesiastes has only 12 chapters, so I think we'll just divide it into two, and we will read 6 today and 6 tomorrow. Okay? So if you have your book Bible or your Google Bible, you might want to read along with me as we undertake this mammoth task. And guys, you know, as my grandmother always says, the longest journey begins with the first step. Now, we looked at the Bible initially and said, oh Lord, the Bible is, oh my God, that's a lot of reading, man. But look at it. We are already halfway through, more than halfway through. So we are moving on. Within the next, say, 6 months, we should be finished. Ecclesiastes chapter 1. The words of the preacher. Hold on, guys. I just gotta get this. Uh-oh. I lost it. I'm sorry, guys. Ecclesiastes chapter 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Okay, so you see, this is written when David was king. And now we remember that's a long time ago. That's a long time ago. We have already read about David handing down to Solomon, Solomon handing down to Rehoboam, and going on and on. We have already read that. So now the book of Ecclesiastes has gone back to the reign of David. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation comes, but the earth abides forever. The sun also arises, and the sun goeth down, and hasted to his place where he arose. The wind goeth towards the south, and turns about unto the north. It whirls about continually, and the wind returns again according to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. Remember yesterday? In the Proverbs, it says, the grave. Somebody can say you are as greedy as the grave. That would be an hyperbole of the highest order, because according to the Bible and according to life, the grave is never satisfied. And here the Bible says the ears is never full. The eyes are never full. As long as you can see, you're always seeing. As long as you can hear, you're always hearing. You don't have to put any effort into hearing. You don't have to put any effort into seeing. All you got to do is open your eyes. Verse 7 says, all the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. You hear that? Nothing is new. Even before we were born, even before us, these things have been done. Have you seen anything that is new? Yeah, go ahead and tell me. Yes, the internet. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with, with those that shall come after. The preacher was king over Jerusalem. And I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to me, to the sons of man, to be exercised therewith. Courtian is here. Good morning, Courtian. How are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Thursday. I hope you're having a great morning. Let us continue. We are on to verse 14 of chapter 1 of the book of Ecclesiastes. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. I communed with thine own heart, saying, lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceived that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. Here ends the reading of Ecclesiastes chapter 1. Gay is here. Gay, what's up? How are you doing, my dear? Good to see you. Good morning. Look at that fam. That fam is rolled up in the place. That fam, what's up? You still are going to hide yourself from me? Hide not thyself from me. All right, it's okay. We can work with that. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all. It looks like on a Thursday you all uh, come out stronger than any other day, huh? Is that what it is? Oh my word. Good to see you all, guys. We are reading from the book of Ecclesiastes. So get your book Bible or your Google Bible, whichever one is close by, and let us read together. All right. Wonderful, Gay. How meek and the babies? From when me not see, I think the other day Mika was on live. When was it? I think it was Sunday or Saturday. One of those days. One of those days I'd left her live running. But I haven't seen much since this week because I've been working, but we will catch up. JB, Joseph, what's up? How are you doing, Joe? How are you doing, Joseph? Good to see you. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, my love. We are on to the book of Ecclesiastes, Joseph, and we are going to start reading chapter 2. Ecclesiastes chapter Ecclesiastes chapter 2. Get your book Bible or your Google Bible, guys, and let's begin. I said in my heart, go to now, I will prove thee with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity. I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I thought in my heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquainting my heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was that good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works. I built me houses. I planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them of all kinds of fruits. I made me pools of water, to water therewith the word that brings forth trees. The wood. I was like, word. Let's read verse 6 again. I made me pools of water, to water therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle, above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces. I got me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men, as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great, and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me. And whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. And I turned myself to behold wisdom. Excuse me. And I turned myself. Let me see who said that. Yes, they are. Oh my gosh. May they look. Oh, you're full out and looking like Miss Howard. Miss Howard? Miss Howard? Miss Howard was St. Hilda's principal when I was what? Oh, well, the farm. Obviously, we go way back, and I don't remember. Hello, Bug. What's it? Where you want? Hold on, the people. Okay, guys, I am back. Shut the door, baby. All right, I am back there, dear people. No, man, me ain't gonna no call, man. I have to let my youngin out to school. Not gonna no call, me love. All right, let us continue. I'm sorry about that, guys, but let us continue. We are on to verse 11 of chapter 2 of the book of Ecclesiastes. And it says, Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do. And behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do that cometh after the king? Even that which hath been already done. Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walketh in darkness. And I myself perceived also that one event happened to them all. Then said I in my heart, as it happened to the fool, so it happened even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this also is vanity. For there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever, seeing that which now is in the days to come shall all be forgotten. And how dies the wise man? As a fool. Therefore, I hated life. That's interesting. Because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me. For all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yea, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored, and wherein I have showed myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. Therefore I went about to cause my heart to despair of all the labor which I took under the sun. For there is a man whose labor is in wisdom, and in knowledge, and in equity. Yet to a man that hath not labored therein shall he leave it for his portion. This also is vanity and a great evil. For what hath man of all his labor, and of the vexation of his heart, wherein he hath labored under the sun? For all his days are sorrows, and his travail grief. Yea, his heart taketh not rest in the night. This is also vanity. There is nothing better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw, that it was from the hand of God. For who can eat, or who else can hasten hereunto more than I? For God giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom, and knowledge, and joy, but to the sinner he giveth travail to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before God. This also is vanity and vexation to the spirit. Here ends the reading of Ecclesiastes chapter 2. And here it is in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, it is highlighting the vanity of the human's labor. You work and you work, you seek to gain riches upon riches. You acquire all the cattle and all the animals and all the vineyards and everything that you can gather in your lifetime. And you labor. But at the end of the day, whether you were lazy or laborious, you all end up the same. We all end up in the grave. Does that mean that we shouldn't even bother? No, it does not. Because while you are alive, it is imperative that you work, that you do something, that you contribute to the society in which you live, that you prepare for the next generation to come. Because remember, when we read in Proverbs, it said a wise man. And it doesn't just mean a man as in a biological man, it means a wise human. A wise human leaves an inheritance for their children and their children's children. So if you are going to come and say, well, I'm alive, but I'm going to die anyway, so what's the point? I'm just going to live until I die. That would be such a useless life. Because what would you have contributed to society? What would you have left for your children, for your grandchildren? And it doesn't have to mean your literal children or grandchildren. It means the next generation. Because if our forefathers hadn't started any kind of ingenuity, exercised any kind of ingenuity in starting to build houses and technology and other industries from which we can now benefit, then where would we be? So even though death is for sure, there is no way to escape it, that doesn't mean your life should be useless. The fam says, Trev, do you think it's okay to give to charity if you don't attend church as a form of offering? The fam, we have been reading the Bible from Genesis to where we are right now. And as far as I can remember reading, until now, this is going to take me to a little diversion here, my people, but follow with me. We have been reading from the book of Genesis. We are now in the book of Ecclesiastes. Nowhere yet, I'm going to say yet because I'm going to pretend as though I have not read the rest of the Bible ever. Nowhere yet have I seen the Bible talking to anybody that is not a descendant of Jacob. Follow me now. The only people that I hear the Bible talking to or giving instructions is to the children of Israel. Okay? Now when you talk about tithing, the children of Israel, the descendants of Jacob, the people who were being led by Moses, the Jews, they were instructed to pay tithe. This tithe was to be given to the Levites. The Levites were not given an inheritance. So, and they were responsible for upkeeping the church and the music, all those things. That was their responsibility. And so because they were not given an inheritance, everybody else was instructed to contribute. And the money that they would give to the church, to their collection in their tabernacle, that money was distributed amongst the Levites. The Bible ain't talking to us yet. I'm not a Jew. The Bible ain't talking to us yet. We are at the book of Ecclesiastes. So if you can go back and read the Bible, you can go back and read it. The Bible ain't talking to us yet, because remember now, the Bible clearly states that the Jews, the descendants of David, these laws that Moses said he was given for his people. Remember, there were other people in the world, There were other people in the world. So the God that Moses was espousing here and worshipping, it was a their God thing. It was not a everybody God thing. It was not. So let me tell you something. I don't have a problem with giving, but I ain't giving my money and saying it is tithe. If I feel like contributing because I am human, and if I see somebody in need and I can help, I will help. But when you tie it to religion and say, oh, I have to give it, it's my tithe. Well, that's up to you. That's up to you, because you know that we were all raised in the mindset that if we do religious things, we are in favor with the God. You understand me? So it's up to you. When some say, I think so. Well, okay. Okay. Gay says, in my belief, I would say yes, if you find it fit in your heart to give. Okay. In my heart, I said, if I find it fit to give somebody something, but I ain't calling it no tithe. I ain't calling it tithe and I ain't calling it offering. No. If somebody I know, or even people I don't know, I donate to people even I don't know them. I don't have to know you to be kind to you. But I can give you something that you are in need of if I have it. But I'm just saying that the tithe that people are saying that they're tying, oh, this is my tithe. If you are reading the Bible for yourself, if you are reading the Bible or remembering anything that we are reading here, that's not what tithe was about. Okay? So if you are helping somebody, you're helping them. But it's not tithe. Nowadays, all churches, why you think we have all these denominations and things? You think it's so much about people having conflict with their beliefs? No, because everybody using the same Bible. And if all these preachers are reading the same Bible, there should be not all these different religions and all these different denominations. But now it is all tied to money. Because people are coming into church and people are believing that they can, the more tithe they pay, or if they pay their tithes and offering, they will be in favor with their God. And so the people on the pulpit collect the money. And the people in the pew believe that by paying this tithe, they are essentially securing their place in heaven. But Dafam, to answer your question, Winsome says, Trev, you can use your offering to feed poor people. You don't have to carry it to church. That is true. If you have to help somebody, you don't have to go through the church to help another human being. Another human being is hungry, is in need, and you gotta help them. You don't have to go to church to help them. No. Remember, as we have been reading in the Bible so far, when the people brought everything from the first fruits from their field, the first of their young, the first of their animals that were born, the first of their cow and goat and sheep, they brought those to the tabernacle to be used as sacrifices. When it comes to money, they contributed money to they put it in the coffers of the church. We're gonna call it church. in the coffers of the church for the maintenance of the building, to change the windows, the doors, to maintain the building, and to pay the Levites, because the Levites were the ones, the Levites were the ones responsible for the upkeep of the church. And the Levites were the ones who, according to Moses, the Levites were the ones who were not given an inheritance. So everybody else was responsible for them. Everybody else was responsible for bringing their tithe to the church, so the Levites could have money to fix the church and to live. But until now, we ain't included yet. All right, Tisha is in the house. Welcome, Tisha. And if I may just interject here, the Bible right now, until now, is talking to the children of Israel, the children who are descendants of Jacob, and all the other people are considered heathen. They are not to be included. The laws are not for them. They are a separate people. None of the benefits of the Jewish God is being extended to people who are not descendants of Jacob. They are heathen, they are the enemy, they are the not outcasts, because they were never incast in the first place. But they are out there. They are not included. The laws don't go for them. The Jews are not supposed to marry them, not supposed to interact, not supposed to mix with them. They are supposed to be a separate people. Be ye separate and come from among them. You're not supposed to mix up with them. You're not supposed to marry them. You're not supposed to give them your daughters, and you're not supposed to take theirs. You're not supposed to make your sons go marry them, and you're not supposed to make their sons go marry you. We are a separate people, and these are the laws that we are supposed to live by, because these are the laws given to us from our God, because we are the chosen people. So me and you not included in that just yet. When it comes to the Levites, it's like the security. Yes, they were the security. Yes, they were. They were the security. They were responsible for the church. They were separate from the rest of the children of Israel. That's why we have to read it. Oh, yes, the fam. Growing up, it was mandatory. I tell you all the time, when I was growing up, my mom never had much, but she always a put her tithe. She always a send up to her offering, and every Sabbath we going to church. She would make sure everybody have their little offering. She would give you, remember the big 25 cents? That big 25 cent? Everybody get their little big 25 cent for go drop at church. And she always have a little envelope with her tithe in it to go drop at church. Yeah. Because if you don't pay your tithe, something crazy going to happen to you. You have to pay your tithe, or else you're not going to be successful. You're not going to have nothing. You're going to stay broke for the rest of your life. Yeah. It's important to read the Bible for yourself. That is why I've taken on this mammoth task, and I'm glad that I'm sharing it with you all. Let us continue. We are on to Ecclesiastes. Welcome into the live, everybody. We are on to Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Follow with me in your book Bible. Okay, so with that said, do you think it's right to marry? Yeah. 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 Let me tell you this. Honestly, my dear sister, I'm going to select my words carefully here. I I wouldn't, but I won't knock anybody who would because I mean, I see humans as humans. And despite any negative experiences that I may have with the paler human beings, I still I still see humans as humans. But when it comes to romance, I'm very selective, you know. I don't think I would, but I wouldn't knock anybody. I wouldn't knock anybody if that is their choice, you know. Um, the the Jews, the Jews were specifically ordered not to marry anybody outside of outside of them. And even that was a bit controversial because remember now, Moses, Moses was telling the people that his God told him that they should not marry anybody who was not a descendant of Jacob. But Moses was married to a whole Ethiopian. Moses was married to a whole Ethiopian. Yet he was telling the people that God told him to tell them that they should not marry anybody that is not a descendant of Jacob. Now, y'all remember when Miriam and Aaron was the man's name, if I remember correctly, spoke up. They spoke to Aaron about it. He said, you know, we have a little bit of a concern here. Looking around and looking at everything that is going on here, something is a little bit off. Because Moses, his wife, is from Ethiopia. She's not a descendant. She is not a descendant of Jacob. Yet Moses has said that we shouldn't marry anybody outside. But he is married to somebody from the outside. What's going on here? And Aaron said, you know, I agree with you all. It really does look strange that our leader is doing what he's telling us not to do. And when they brought it to Moses, I guess Moses was offended, like, how dare they? What audacity they have to question him. Because you see, I am the leader. I am the boss. How you are going to ask me such a question? I can do what I want to do, but you are better not do what I do. And so he claimed to call upon his God. His God was mad that Miriam and Horan, whatever his name was, I forgot his name right now, had the audacity to question him. And for that, Miriam was struck with leprosy. And the other guy, there was a sinkhole that opened up under his tent and swallowed him and his whole family. Aaron wasn't punished though, even though Aaron had the same question. Kind of interesting, right? So when you say the Bible speaks about it and say that it was for the children of Israel. Yes, was talking to the children of Israel, telling them that they should not marry. They should not marry outside of themselves. And it said they should not marry. They should not marry. Remember in Exodus it said they were not allowed to marry the Edomites. They were not allowed to marry the the nobody else who was a descendant from anybody except when some said they were family ram. Well, that is true because they married their cousins. They were not allowed to marry like their sisters and their brothers, but they were allowed to marry like their aunt's child, their uncle's child. They were even allowed to marry their aunts. They were supposed to marry amongst themselves and never to go outside. So of course, yes, they were family. They were family. They wanted to make sure that everything they had stayed among them. So my question has always been, so if at this point in the Bible it's telling the people that only the Jews these laws are for, and all of this literature is talking about these Jewish people, what happened? Where is the law, the rules for the rest of the people? There wasn't any up until now. There was none from the Jewish God, because all of this that we are reading so far is for the Jews, by the Jews. It is, you notice they always talk about their God. The other people, they said those people were worshiping their own God, which, yeah, because it seems like religion or having some kind of religious connection has been something that humans have desired their whole life. For eons, humans have desired to praise somebody, to thank somebody for life, because we have realized that we of ourselves, we cannot make one another. We can have sex and procreate, but apart from that, we have no control over how human beings are created. We are doing the creation because it is us who, through our sexual activities, is causing the creation of new human beings. We have no control, just like the Bible says. We have no control over the sun. We don't know how the sun come up. We don't know how it go down. We don't know how the rain come. We don't know how the earth was made. We have absolutely no clue. But we are grateful. We don't know where the wind comes from that we breathe. But we are grateful. And so for generations as human beings, we have desired to thank whatever energy it is that is responsible for us being here. And with that gratitude, we have sought to praise that person, praise that energy, thank that energy, and show our gratitude towards that energy, whatever it is. And everybody sees it differently. And that is why there are different forms of religion, because people see in a different way how to thank the energy that is responsible for the things for which we as humans have no control. And that is fair. That is fair. I'm not straying here, but it's from way back. Those are exactly. It's do as I say, but not as I do. Yeah. Exactly. Long time. But one thing too, I believe Moses had a little bit of a tolerance for difference. He was open to questioning, because remember when Zelophehad's daughters went to him to talk about how their father had died. For those of you who don't remember this story, remember Zelophehad had only 5 daughters, he had no sons. And back then, your inheritance was not given to your daughter. Your inheritance was given to your son, because your son was expected to get a wife. And so the wife would benefit from the inheritance that her husband has gotten, but the daughters weren't given anything. But Zelophehad was one man who had only 5 daughters, no sons, and he died in the wilderness of Zin. When they came out into Canaan, and when Moses was distributing all the land and stuff, Zelophehad's daughter were like, "What in the world? But our dad was supposed to get some inheritance, but we ain't getting none because we are all women. We are not men. What's up with that? That can't be right." And that was right there, the first female adult suffrage. They're going to confront Moses. Moses, listen, we got a problem here, bro. We gotta talk. Now, our dad passed away in the wilderness. Now, all the inheritance that he was supposed to get, what he gonna do with it? Well, so we're gonna give it to his brethren, because that's the law. We're gonna give it to his brother. If he doesn't have a brother, we give it to our uncle. We're gonna give it to a man. And the daughters were like, "Come on, Moses, you got to look at this a different way. Now, we don't have no control over whether a man has boys or girls." And unfortunately, our dad was one of those people who never had any boys. He was a girl dad. He didn't have any boys. So his inheritance now should just go to his brother or his uncle or a male cousin, or what we go have. We are people too. We can handle a couple acres. We can raise some animals too. We can handle some stuff. What do you think? And Moses met with the elders. He met with Aaron and the others. And he said, all right. You know, so I don't have a point. We don't really have a point. So yeah, well, I'm going to give you no father's inheritance. And he gave it to Zelophehad's 5 daughters. So even though Moses was making these laws, he was still open to modifying them according to the needs of the people. Just like even now, you know, there are laws and laws and laws. But if the people rise up and confront the leaders enough about a particular law, then it gets changed. That's how women had to fight for voting rights. They had to get up, stand up, fight, lobby, get legislators to modify laws to accommodate women in voting. Black people excluded from everything in this country for eons. We had to get up, stand up, protest, fight. You understand? Now we gotta get some folding chairs, and we gotta fix the business, and we gotta do this and that and the other and the third, so that we can be accepted into spaces where historically we had been denied. It is what it is. Okay? But when it comes on to whether or not, as somebody asked earlier, whether or not I believe that interracial marriage, I ain't gonna knock the hustle. People can do what they want to do. It is not for me, but I wouldn't tell somebody don't. It is up to people, because I see people as people, and I cannot go by what the Bible has said, because up until now, the Bible ain't talked to me yet, to us yet. These are rules and laws for the Jews. The other people in the world are not included in the laws that are here. And Moses did say that the children of Israel shouldn't marry outside. He said God told him that they shouldn't marry outside. And that is why you see, whenever you see anybody, a black person or just about anybody else, try to establish a romantic connection with somebody who is an expressed Jew, there is so much backlash, because historically they were taught that it is an abomination to marry somebody who is not a descendant of Jacob. Yeah. They were encouraged not to. goes against their religious precepts. Nowadays, people are falling in love, people are marrying, in marrying out, people are all over. Is everything biblically based? Most things are, but it is for us to decipher what is for us and what is not. Me personally, I have my misgivings when it comes on to the Bible and the teachings. I have said it before that I have never read a book. I have never read a book with such contrasting emotions, all melted into one. The Bible for me has, I'm an avid reader, but I've never read another book that is so violent. The violence that I've read in the book here is like, oh, mind-boggling. I've never read another book with this much violence in it. And at the same time, there is this contrasting desire to abandon all of that and embrace the part of the Bible that is all loving and great and espousing peace and all of that. And then I'm like, but it says I must follow it. I must follow everything in the Bible. I must follow everything in the Bible. That's what I was taught. That's how I was raised. But reading the Bible for myself, I see where if I should, then a prison me I go dead. Guys, the thing is, I love your thought process, my sister. I love your thought process. The thing is, we have been taught to be afraid of questioning the Bible, because we have been taught that if you dare to question the Bible, hell you are gonna go. You're going in a fiery pit where you are going to burn to death, and death over death over death over death. You're going to burn up in hell. When you think of a fire, don't you get terrified? Imagine thinking that your house will burn down and you are trapped in there and you can't come out. Just the thought alone is terrifying enough. The Bible, I tell you, reading the Bible, I realize the Bible, somebody clever enough, somebody or somebodies were clever enough to gather some writings of different people back in history, if at all it was. But they gathered these writings and they made a collection of the writings. They selected what they're going to put in and what they're going to leave out. And I believe these people put it the way they did with these 66 books and all these thousands of chapters and verses and stuff. I don't think they believed that anybody was going to take on the mammoth task of reading it from beginning to end. Bring some to remember David, over 10,000 people, way more than that, and he wasn't alone. That farm said, I want to tremble. I'm just saying the truth, sis. I'm just saying the truth about what I've been reading and how I feel about it. If anybody here has opposing views, I'm not offended if you have opposing views. I'm not offended if you say, you know, Trev, I believe X, Y, Z, and your belief is different from mine. I don't have a problem with that. If you have some additional literature that should provide us with some clarification, I'll be happy to hear it. We know that there are lots of books that are missing from the Bible, and that is not something made up. Because as we were reading in the book of Ezra, the book of Ezra talks about this same story that Ezra spoke of being written in the book of Nathan. Now, there is no book of Nathan in the Bible. So the book of Nathan was clearly excluded from the Bible. It also talks about some other books. The book of Obed and all those books are not in the Bible. But those are different people who give their account of what happened during that time when they lived. So the persons who compiled the Bible selected whose version they were going to put in and whose version they were going to leave out. So now I am on a quest to find the book of Nathan, because I want to read the book of Nathan. I want to read the book of Obed and those other books that the Bible talk about. I want to read them because I want to know remember Nathan was a prophet during that time of Ezra. I want to know what was Nathan's view of what was happening at the time. What was Nathan's experience at the time that he wrote about? Because you can write about my experience and I can write about my experience, but the two may not be the same because you can't feel what I felt. So you won't be able to capture my feeling the way I would be able to capture my feeling literally. Can you imagine that going to war is normal in the Bible? Exactly, the farm. Exactly. In the Bible, it was normal to just go and slaughter some people, take all of their gold and silver and all of their jewels, all of their everything that is of value to them. In the Bible, they call it the spoils. And just take it all. Slaughter everybody. And then they say, that's what their God told them to do. But then there is the question. Since their God is so mighty and powerful, and he wanted them to have these people's gold and silver and all these things, why didn't he slay these people himself? Why did he allow all this blood to be on the Israelites' hands for them to do the slaying? First, just a question. Just a question. And yet, when they disobey him, when they don't do what he said, they say he tell them to slaughter these people. He told them to slay these people. It just seems so cultish to me. That's just my view. It seems so cultish that there is this one man who says his God tells him that all these people should go slay other people and take what they have. And then you need to make sacrifices and pray and all of this to the person. And then if you ever go against what this person wants you to do, you are punished so severely. And this cycle just kept going on and on. The children of Israel are faithful. They get blessings. They get to slaughter some more people. They get to steal some more gold. They get to steal some more silver. They get to steal some more land. Then they start to question their faith. They start to wonder what is going on. They start asking questions. And for that, they become cursed. The enemies come, the enemies take away their silver, their gold, their everything. They become poor, they become slaves, they become destitute, and then they gather back themselves together and they say, well, we got to serve our God, we got to reestablish his kingdom on earth, we got to do this, we got to do that. And then they become wealthy again, they become powerful again. And then somebody has a question and somebody questions the authenticity of their belief and stuff, and they say, oh really, you got the audacity to question? Well, okay, all the riches are gone again, all everything is, and the cycle just kept going on and on and on. I'm telling you, this morning I come out spitting nothing but the truth, sister. Nothing but the truth, my love. I'm just saying how I feel and what I have read in the Bible. So don't make me make up stuff, you know. You understand? And I know people get hurt feelings when they hear the stuff that's in the Bible. And I guess subconsciously that's why people don't want to read the Bible. Because they don't want to see what is in it. Because it is going to make them have questions. It is going to make them start questioning, like, what? What? And anybody with a rational mind is going to ask questions. And it is great that you ask questions. That's what we call it now. Back then in the Bible, it was nothing to them. Exactly. It was nothing to them to just go slay people and take their land. Andrea, I was waiting for somebody to say that. The Bible says, thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not steal. It says, thou shalt not kill and thou shalt not steal. That was the law given to Moses for the children of Israel. They shouldn't kill and they shouldn't steal. But Andrea, what it meant was they should not kill or steal from each other. You get it? You get it? They should not kill or steal from each other. But people outside was fair game. Because you notice, they did not tolerate stealing from each other. They did not tolerate them being unkind to each other. But it was fair game that anybody who tried to infiltrate their camp was fair game to be slaughtered. Anybody who was not a descendant of the children of Israel was fair game to be stolen from and to be slaughtered. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Are you starting to think yet? Are you starting to think yet? Based on the revelations of what is in the Bible. Remember, saying we make up stuff, you know. That is why I said I got to read this for myself and I got to share it. I have to share it so that it's not just me sitting here and reading the Bible, but I can incorporate others and other thought processes and other opinions about it, about the Bible, because the Bible affects every single one of us and every single aspect of our lives. Now, if somebody asks me about what my feelings are about the commandments, I know the commandments. Moses says he was given the commandments for the children of Israel. He won't for me. It was for the children of Israel. Okay? But thinking as a rational person, now, if the Bible says, or even if the Bible didn't say, thou shalt not steal, I don't think I would ever feel comfortable taking somebody else's things that won't give it to me. So even if the Bible never said that, to me, that would seem so wrong, to deprive somebody else of their possession for no good reason, just because I'm jealous or envious or bad mind, just want to take it. It's got to be mine. It shouldn't be theirs. No, no, I don't think I could or would do that. Thou shalt not kill. I feel the same way about it. I don't feel that I should, taking another person's life is any way to live. Okay? But as Andrea said, in the Bible, it says that thou shalt not kill. But the kingdom of Israel was built on the blood of their neighbors. Tell me I'm lying. The kingdom of Israel was built on the blood of their neighbors. Because when the children of Israel got out of the wilderness of Zin onto the west side of the river Jordan, onto the east side, onto the east side of the river Jordan, they slaughtered all those people over there and took all that land. When they went across the river Jordan into Jericho, they slaughtered everybody, all of the men, women, child, everybody. They took everything that was of value and then burned down the city. All right? Now you tell me if this is not a band of bandits, if this is not a band of rogues going around slaying people and taking what they have. Now, as my daughter asked me last night, she said, Mommy, if it was the promised land, I tell her that child has a mind that is way beyond her years. She said, Mommy, if it was the promised land, God promised them this land, why did he have people living on there? Why did he have people occupying the land already? If it was the land that he was preserving for the children of Israel, that land should be left empty and bare. And remember, there were lots of other empty lands. There was lots of other bare lands that weren't occupied. This particular land, though, was said to be the promised land for the children of Israel. Ever hear about Jim Jones? Jim Jones said he had a promised land down there in the wilderness in Guyana. I say no more. If you don't know about him, you go read about him. But he said God had given him the word that the promised land was down there in Guyana jungles. Let us continue. That was a piece of a diversion there. Oh yes, God, I couldn't remember his name. I couldn't remember the man's name. Okay, sister, again, no problem, my love. Have yourself a great day, my darling. We are going to continue reading this morning. We are going to continue with the reading of the Bible. That was a great little piece of diversion there where we got a chance to explore a little bit about what we have been reading. Welcome into the live, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming. If you are new here, a very, very special welcome to you. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you have not yet hit that like button, now is a great time to do so. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, now is a great time to do so. Like the live, guys, and share out the live and invite your friends and your friends' friends to come on over. Every morning we gather here as we read the Bible for ourselves from beginning to end because we want to have an understanding of it, of the book that is so influential in all our lives. We want to understand it for ourselves, and that is why we have taken on this mammoth task of reading it from beginning to end. We are now on the book of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 3. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboureth? I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he hath set the world in his heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. I know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life. Good morning, Grant. Welcome into the place. How are you doing, my love? And also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. And God doeth it, that men should fear before him. That which hath been that which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and God requireth that which is past. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. Well, Grant. Hey, 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 hey. Oh boy. Grant, you're not easy, you know. You're not easy. I won't. I won't. Verse 17. I said in my heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. I said in my heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts, even one thing befalleth them. As the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they have all one breath, so that a man hath no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. You hear that? A man has no preeminence above a beast, for all is vanity. Yeah, the same way the beast stop breathing, die and rot and disappear, is the same way a man stops breathing, dies and rots. The only thing is we have a little higher, an higher order of intelligence where we can make buildings and cars and that sort of thing, and the other animals in the animal kingdom can't. So we have a little bit of an edge over them. Verse 20 says, all go unto one place, all are of the dust, and all returns to the dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man, that goeth upwards, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? Oh, listen to that, guys. Verse 21 says, who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? Verse 22 and last. Wherefore I perceive that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his portion. For who shall bring him to see what shall be after him? Here ends the reading of Ecclesiastes chapter 3. Thank you all so much for listening. Oh my God, we are going to chapter 6 today. It might take us a little while, but we will go to chapter 6. Because Ecclesiastes, guys, is going to take us 2 days. It's going to take us 2 days. Let's move on to chapter 4 of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 4. So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun. And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressors there was power, but they had no comforter. Wherefore I praise the dead, which are already dead, more than the living, which are yet alive. Yea, better is he than both they, which hath not yet been, who hath not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. Again, I considered all travail and every right work, that for this a man is envied of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. The fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh. Better is an handful with quietness than both the hands full with travail and vexation of spirit. Then I returned, and I saw vanity under the sun. There is one alone, and there is not a second. Yea, he hath neither child nor brother, yet is there no end of all his labor. Neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he, for whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good? This is also vanity, yea, it is a sore travail. Yes, but God, you're coming on the live later or what? What's going on? Because you're the way behind. Yeah, we talked about how we talked about how Moses ended up revising the law and gave the Zelophehad's inheritance to his daughters. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Long time earlier, like 40 minutes ago. Let us continue. Verse 8 of Ecclesiastes chapter 4. There is one alone, and there is not a second. Yea, he hath neither child nor brother, yet is there no end of all his labor. Neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he, for whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good? This is also vanity, yea, it is a sore travail. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Better is a poor and a wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. For out of prison he cometh to reign, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becomes poor. I considered all the living which walk under the sun, with the second child that shall stand up in his stead. Verse 16, and this is the last verse of Ecclesiastes chapter 4. There is no end to all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. That's the end of Ecclesiastes chapter 4. Welcome into the live, guys. Thank you all so much for coming. I sincerely appreciate you all. Let us continue. Let us move on to Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God, for God is in heaven, and you are on earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. Oh, now you catch up. Okay. Now you catch up with the mustard. Verse 3 of Ecclesiastes chapter 5 says, For a dream cometh through the multitude of business, and a fool's voice is known by a multitude of words. When thou vowest to vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools. Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow, than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice, and destroy the work of thine hands? For in the multitude of dreams and many words there are also divers vanities. But fear thou God. If thou seest the oppression of the poor, and violent perverting of judgment, and justice is in a province, marvel not at the matter. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the fields. The Bible says the profit of the earth, everything on the earth, all its resources, is for everyone on earth to enjoy. But we know that's not how it is these days. The rich go, the rich people, or what we should say, there's a particular sector of society who believes that they are superior to the rest of us, and they believe that everything that is worthy belongs to them, and they are to determine who gets what, when, and how. And they have established this system for years and years and years and years and years. They have established this system. And it is just now that we as a people are starting to realize what is happening. And not just that we are starting to realize, but we are starting to stand up. And as we speak, I applaud the current leaders in Africa. I applaud them. I get up every day with new hope of reading that another African leader has joined in the fight against colonialism. Because over the years, hundreds of years ago, when Europeans realized there was so much wealth in Africa, they devised their plot and their plans, and they used this same Bible here to convince Africans that they were less than, and that they, the Europeans, were superior to the Africans. And by doing so, they colonized Africa. They took the resources. They have been taking the resources of Africa, taking the gold and the silver, all the minerals. Africa has all the minerals this world could ever need. And Europeans have gone down to Africa. They have colonized the place. They have taken control of all the resources. They have made themselves rulers, developed all these little companies that they have based in Africa, taken all the resources over the years, siphon it off in European countries, and leave the Africans desperate and destitute. Enacted laws that have caused the Africans to remain povertized. Considering that you live in the richest country, the country with the most resources, and you have so much poverty, and the Western world have the audacity to be growing corn up in Nebraska and those places, growing some engineered corn that they use to feed horses, and exporting it to Africa to go feed our brothers and sisters down there. The audaciousness. And yet they go there and they take the silver, the gold, all the minerals from there. They siphon it off in Europe, in America, and England, all over. They siphon it off and leave the people down there in abject poverty, and then claim to be helping Africa. I want all the African leaders to get together and rise up and chase them away. All of them. Chase them all away. Yes. Get rid of them, because they have done nothing but cause harm and try to put a face of good to it. I am going to do a video. Somebody sent it to me. Somebody sent it to me a few days ago to show you how cruel and wicked these people are. There's this girl, Jesus, I forget her name. If I had my other phone, I would see it. Somebody sent it to me. And this white girl, at 19 years old, she claimed she has no medical training. No medical training. She's not a nurse, not a doctor, she's nothing. And she goes to Africa, which African country she went down there. Was it Ghana? No, but she went down to one of those African countries. She claimed that she is some kind of a medical volunteer. No, she don't have no medical training at all. And she went down there and she claimed that she started this organization online and collected thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Went down to Africa and claimed that she is volunteering. She is building a clinic for African children. She's building a clinic. Are you gonna go to Africa? And because we have been taught to have this white person complex, to believe that once a white person appears, oh my God, God is here. running around like they're some kind of god. Because you see, in our minds, we were sort of taught. You notice they give us a white god. No, give me no white god. Will the white god save me from white man oppression? No, give me no white god. Now you understand what that song is about, right? And we get this complex that once we see white people, they are some kind of god. We are supposed to dwindle in front of them. That's how they try to make us believe. You understand? Because they give us the picture of a God that is white. They make sure everything that we need, all the benefits and all the services and everything, there's always a white person who is in charge. So when you go in front of them, for you to be able to get any kind of benefits as a human being, you have to submit to them. That's how the colonizers arranged it. England have the most gold and England don't have a gold mine. England don't have a gold mine. You understand? How could we not see this for all these years is the question. Exactly, God. Exactly. The generations of today are becoming more rebellious. And because I think that before, people were just so submissive. They want to start if they want to do like a campaign on I'm just gonna say jab. A campaign on jabbing. Y'all know what I'm talking about now. They always go to Africa to start it. Why they gotta use African people as guinea pigs? They go down there to start it. To start the jabbing campaign. And then they go down there, they claim they're starting clinics, drawing people's blood and sending it away, giving people all kinds of medicines and stuff, convincing the people that their natural medicines is not working. Your natural medicines is no good. But under the table, they are taking the same herbs, the same plants, the same everything that the African people have been using traditionally for their ailments. They convince them that no, drink Cersei. Cersei not good for you. It a go hard in your liver. No, not drink comfrey. No. Don't drink no like a marijuana tea for your glaucoma. No. That is not good. We have the better remedy. But them use the same plants and make their medicine and turn around and sell it to the people. How can human beings be so wicked? And then they have the audacity to take, and then they have the audacity to talk about, oh, if Africa don't join this and if Africa don't do this, they are not going to give Africa any aid. Africa should not need any aid from y'all. Y'all should need aid from Africa. Y'all should need aid from Africa. The audaciousness coming to threaten the wealthiest planet on earth. And you are going to threaten them that you are going to withdraw aid from them if they do not submit to you. I tell you, I have great despise for the way Western governments have treated Africa. I have great contempt for them and the way they have treated Africa. Africa is the richest country, the richest planet. I'm not sorry I said planet instead of continent. I'm not even sorry I said planet, to be honest with you. You know, they want the oil, they want the gold, the diamond, the rubies, everything, all the precious stones. They want the oil. They want the chocolate, they want the cotton, they want everything from Africa so that they can live big and boastful lives over here and deprive the people of their resources that is supposed to make them rich. You go and you steal it and you won't pay them for it. You don't pay them for it. You steal it and you bring it over here. You steal it and you bring it over here and you go to the people's country and you put in governments you establish governments in the people's country, governments and laws that are meant to deprive the people of their sovereignty. Oh God, man. Don't get me riled up. When it comes to talking about colonialism, I get so riled up because I see it as one of the cruelest acts of human beings onto another set of people. And now I understand why over the years, African leaders have become submissive because number one, they did not want to die. Whenever I hear Western countries espousing any African leader as being cruel, and like they did with like Idi Amin and someone, I say calling them cruel and wicked and not for the people, and they got to be taken out of office and what I used to say, like, yes, the US is, the US and these Western countries got to keep Africa, but now I realize that was not the case. Anybody who opposed them, that is the person they brand the devil, and before you know it, they get people to assassinate them and get the opposition out of the way. They have to have somebody who they can keep in their pocket, somebody who they can bribe with money to make laws, enact laws to keep the people down. You know, when I was younger, I remember when in Jamaica, when Mr. Siaga became Prime Minister in 1980, I know when I started, when I was a young adult, and people were talking about, Mr. Siaga and whatever, all that he had brought to Jamaica and stuff like that. I'm not a political scholar or anything, but I was on the bandwagon. We need a change. But now I realize he was really appointed by England. He was really appointed by England. You know what? You realize his name? You realize his name? He has all the names of the British monarchy. Edward, George, Philip. Yeah. And until today, nobody cannot convince me that he is not related to them. I am not convinced that he is not related to them. I believe he is related to them. Whatever the cover-up is, or whether or not I'm just coming up with some conspiracy, I don't know. But I looked at it and I said, this looks suspicious. I think he's related to them, and he was sent to Jamaica to be the Prime Minister because of the Queen. I think the Queen sent him and appointed him. We go to vote, but our voting ain't even nothing. They already appoint who they want to appoint. Yeah, so that he could enact laws in their favor. And the same thing it is around the world. That's why when I see countries like Barbados separate themselves from the Queen, I celebrate. I celebrate with them, because it is time that every single country that was colonized by the Queen separate themselves and come from among them, because all they do is pillage and plunder these culture. But it is England had 76 colonies. What the hell? Remember, you got get out of here. And I cannot wait for the day when Jamaica says, get out of here. But Jamaica leader them so licky. So let us continue, gentle people. May we continue the reading of the Bible? Let us continue. Verse 8 of chapter 5 of the book of Ecclesiastes. If thou seest the oppression of the poor, and violent perverting of judgment and justice in a province, marvel not at the matter. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than they. Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. He that loves silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loves abundance with increase. This is also vanity. When goods increase, they are increased that eat them. And what good is there to the owners thereof, saving the beholding of them with their eyes? The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or he eats much. But the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. There is a sore evil which I have seen under the sun, namely riches kept for the owners thereof to their hurt. Verse 14 says, but those riches perish by evil travail, and he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand. As he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came, and shall make nothing of his labor, which he may carry away in his hand. And this also is a sore evil, that in all points as he came, so shall he go. And what profiteth he that hath labored for the wind? All his days also he eateth in darkness, and he hath much sorrow and wrath with his sickness. Behold, that which I have seen, it is good and comely for one to eat and to drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labor, that he taketh under the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth him for it is his portion. Trina! Trina, what's up? Good to see you, my dear sister. How you been? Every man also to whom God hath given riches and wealth, and hath given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor, this is a gift of God. Verse 20, and this is the last verse of chapter 5 of the book of Ecclesiastes. For he shall not much remember the days of his life, because God answers him in the joy of his heart. Here ends the reading of Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Guys, I love the reading this morning. I can't believe we are here this morning for almost 2 hours. OMG, I'm enjoying the reading today, my friends. Absolutely enjoying it. We are going to move on to Ecclesiastes chapter 6. Ecclesiastes chapter 6. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and it is common among men, a man to whom God hath given riches, wealth, and honor, so that he wants nothing for his soul of all that he desires. Yet God gives him not power to eat thereof, but a stranger eats it. This is vanity, and it is an evil disease. If a man beget 100 children, and live many years, so that the days of his years be many, and his soul be not filled with good, and also that he have no burial, I say that an untimely birth is better than he. An untimely birth, a premature birth. You know what that means, right? A premature child was probably not has probably not survived, maybe not have reached the age of viability. He said that would be better than a man who lived to be 100, have his children, but have no burial. He is just a child that is born prematurely and passes away is just is better than this man who has lived 100 years, have many children, but no burial. For he cometh in with vanity, and departeth in darkness, and his name shall be covered with darkness. Moreover, he hath not seen the sun, nor known anything. This hath more rest than the other. Yea, though he live 1,000 years twice told, yet hath he seen no good. Do not all go to one place? All the labor of man is for his mouth, and yet the appetite is not filled. For what hath the wise more than the fool? What hath the poor that knoweth to walk before the living? Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. That which hath been is named already, and it is known that it is man. Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he. Seeing there be many things that increase vanity, what is man the better? Verse 12, and this is the last verse of Ecclesiastes chapter 6, and the last verse of today's reading. For who knoweth what is good for man in in this life, all the days of his vain life, which he spends as a shadow? For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun? Here ends the reading. Here ends the reading of Ecclesiastes chapter 6. And this brings us to the end of the reading, of the Bible reading for today. Once again, I want to say thanks to everyone who came into the live. Thanks to everyone who showed up and showed out this morning. Thanks to everyone who participated, those who hit the like button, those who shared out the live, those who came in and made the live as lively as it was. And with all that we have read this morning and all that we have learned, all that we have gone over, I am thrilled. I am happy that I started reading the Bible for myself and sharing it with you all. I am happy that I started because I have learned so much that I didn't know before. All I know was the 10 Commandments, a few Psalms and stuff, the generic stuff that sort of keeps you in the way. Now I'm in read the Bible and realizing that the compilation was all that sacred as they made it out to sea. But we're gonna leave that for another day. We're gonna continue. Yeah. Oh yes, yes, with some off today. I'm gonna it's now at 8 o'clock. I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna do some cleaning up stuff, within the next hour. I might do that on live. We're gonna talk about, you know, your views on abortion. I'm gonna talk about that. I realize that abortion is a stickling topic that everybody seems to be talking about. And so I'm going to have a little bit of a discussion. But while I'm talking to you about it in a little bit, I'm going to also be getting all this stuff I have together, you know. I'm going to be talking and working at the same time. And Andrea, you know how that goes. When I talk and work, I get a lot done. You are welcome, Andrea. You are welcome, man. Yes, I try. What's up with your monetization? Yeah, my dear sister, is a good thing I don't wait for you to put my butterfly here. September 12th passed by and them say me feel whatever. So I hit the thing for the monetization again. And they claim say they go over my channel and my channel no me community guidelines. What? So I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know why YouTube are talking about it. Me not put YouTube on practice. So me not pay them no mind. I'm really not paying them no mind. When them ready, them do whatever they want to do. If them do it at 6 and if them don't do it at half an hour, I cannot be bothered. God no. YouTube and Facebook, for me, if I could have, it's just because you see, and that is what when people know that you use them, you use their services, they think them can manipulate you and do a kind of foolishness, and you're still going to be here. Yeah, I will be here, just like Facebook. Yesterday, I'm gonna tell you this. Yesterday, yesterday day before, I go over Facebook. Some you all who are with me here, I don't know something about Facebook all the time. I don't post on Facebook all the time because going back and forth through social media sometimes can take up my time. And I have stuff to do. And Facebook hasn't been nice to me, block me all the day long, do a kind of foolishness. So me really, my taste for them has soured. But day before yesterday, I go over there and me look. I saw there's this girl called Bastilla who me follow all the time. Bastilla Cuff, she always do some funny stuff. And I saw one of her funny videos and I watched the video and I hit the laugh button and I moved right along. And then there was a video by, I think it was Rapper Cropper. And me watch the video and then me hit the like button. As I'm scrolling down, I see that the like button turned back white. So I say, so I go back and hit the like button again. So as I scroll down, it turned back white. So I go back and hit it the third time. So I hit it the third time, I see one notification come up on my screen and say, you are blocked. So I'm blocked for an hour because me violate community guidelines. Well, I said to myself, what me violate community? What me violate you Facebook community with? All me do over here is hit a like button, hit a laugh button, and then hit a like button. What me violate? So I'm just like, when we tell you no annoyed, I'm just absolutely annoyed. You understand? Me just annoyed. So I cannot be bothered. Me can't be bothered with them. Let me see. Wait, they come with this screenshot. I'm not even know what they're going on this phone. But this phone I need a 7 or 11. So every time I open the camera, it's a recording field. I'm so sick of these gadgets. Them just I get on my nerves. Everything I get on my nerves right now. Yeah. this sitting, it come out and said, let me tell you why it says. It says your account is restricted for 1 hour. Your account activity didn't follow our community standards, so you can't do one or more things you usually do. All me do was hit the laugh button on the woman's video, which it was a joke she was giving. Cause you know she always do those funny little videos. So apparently me not supposed to laugh on Facebook. Apparently me not supposed to laugh at nobody's joke. So I'm just like, you know what? Mark Zuckerberg got kicked 2 rocks in a Priscilla allow me. Anyway, Lord, me just don't read the Bible. You understand? It's just so aggravating. You know, me not there. I don't like something. Me not post no video. Me not do nothing. Me not post no pictures. Me not, all me do is hit the laugh button for the girl video. And Facebook said me violate. So anyway, yes, card TikTok. TikTok is where and them are for them behaviors too, you know. Them are for them behaviors. Cause I don't think I violate anything on the internet because I don't post, lewd stuff. And I don't me not engage in a violent activity or lewd activity for the internet. So I don't understand why these people just always down me throat. Me not understand it. But anyway, they do them and I do me. Alright? And them block. Oh, then block the person who posted, not the one who. But she didn't say anything. She just was just giving a little joke. It wasn't, and it wasn't even anything. Ludo was just one of her regular videos, like she has all these little funny videos. It wasn't anything. It wasn't nothing. I said, my God, them people are crazy. Them people, man. They're crazy. Crazy. But anyway, we are going to continue. You finally got to TikTok? Yeah, TikTok is where it's at. Me have to go set up my devices so that when I go live in the mornings reading the Bible, me have and you are gonna get me blocked. Violence. Help my soul, Jesus. You people are something else. I don't pay. I'm not paying them no, man. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all of them. Them I do what them I do. You understand? And me I do what me I do. Me not pay them no, man. You understand? I'm gonna leave that to you, Carl. You can't do that. You can't do that. Me not do nothing like that. Me not do nothing like that. Tomorrow we do Friday. Yeah. So that is going to be the end of the Bible reading for today, my friends. I want to say thanks to everybody who came into the live. I sincerely appreciate you all. Thank you all so much for coming in, for standing by, sticking by, and staying with me this morning for the whole 2 hours. I was going to even read the other book this morning. I don't know if we have time. Do I? Was that the book exciting? Who was in the reading last night? Oh my word, the book is exciting. Exciting, I tell you. I love it. All right. So that's it for right now, guys. When I come back, when I'm cleaning, we're gonna talk. I wanna have a little bit of talk. Okay? Have yourselves a great day, everybody. Gay and Card and Winsome, Tisha, Andrea, The Farm, Joseph, everybody else. I can't remember everybody's name. Yard Foods, and everybody else who was in the live. And I remember Grant had in the place. Yeah. everybody else. Have yourselves a great day, everybody, and we will talk later. All right, Sister Gay. See you all later, guys.